Omar initially refusing, as Common Sense alluded to respond to a reporter's question about last night's murder of two Israeli embassy staffers outside the Capital Jewish Museum. Let's bring in conservative commentator Alicia Krause and the Federalist elections correspondent Brianna Lyman. Thank you both for coming on. Brianna, to you first. I mean, she's a member of Congress. Two people were shot. I know she's not a fan of Israel, but you should respond to the reporter's question.
Absolutely. Look, first, we're witnessing two things here. This is the end result of the globalized, the Intifada movement, okay? Second of all, it is the continued normalization of political violence, and this did not occur in a vacuum. It has been enabled by a progressive movement that rationalizes and downplays political violence. And for Democratic leaders to fail, and Ilhan Omar as well, to not only fail to condemn just the acts of violence itself, but not to attribute this act of violence to a direct result of the radical, anti-West, anti-American, free Palestine movement only emboldens further perpetrators because they know there is a safe haven in the left's political corner.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Meantime, here's Kelly O'Donnell. This is on MSNBC saying the Trump administration is not transparent because they no longer release transcripts. They're relying on video and no longer releasing transcripts. And here's the thought process. Watch this.
Something we hear almost every day, that they claim to be the most transparent, and in some ways they are trying to show transparency. But this is another example where they are reducing the public's access to this kind of information, and they have not explained why. They say that it is available for people to look at the videos and that should be, I guess, in their judgment, sufficient. But it is a change, and it's one that diminishes the pipeline of information people have about their government.
These are the same guys, by the way, that held diplomatic meetings yesterday in front of the entire country on national television. They hold cabinet meetings in front of the entire country on national television. And now MSNBC is like, I wish they would be honest and open with us.
They've now complained more about Trump's lack of transparency than they ever did about Joe Biden spending the entire 2020 campaign hiding in his mom's basement. I mean, it wasn't actually his mom's basement, but he was literally hiding in a basement. Yeah. And then on top of that, the fact that how few press conferences did President Biden do? How few press conferences did Kamala Harris do? I mean, I could go through every single significant national Democratic candidate and compare it to the current Trump administration and everything that they have done and how transparent they have been. Also, like, come on, MSNBC, there's free apps out there that you can Google and like insert video link from the White House website and it will give you a transcript if you really need it that bad. There's also ChatGPT.
Yeah, I mean, this is like jumping on board with the whole biological males and female sports. It's an 80-20 issue. If you're going to say that the administration is not transparent, you're on the wrong side of this. I mean, fight for something that you can win. This is not winnable. MSNBC, take that back. NBC correspondent saying President Trump should show this video, right, yesterday with the South African president that wasn't really accurate. It wasn't what he said it was. Watch this.
We know that that was not true and that the video wasn't showing that. So I wonder, why did the president choose to show that? It's not true that the video was showing a burial site. It is unsubstantiated that that's the case.
The video showed images of crosses in South Africa about white farmers who have been killed and politically persecuted because of the color of their skin. Are you disputing that there's no...
I'm disputing the fact that the video showed what the president claimed it showed because it did not show that.
The amazing part about this is that it did show the white crosses, and the president, I don't know what he said, but these are the white, just like we see here in this country on the side of the road when you die in a car accident, they have white crosses on the side of the road. It was kind of the same thing, Brianna, and you have this back and forth about, well, it really, I don't quite get it.
You know why? Because when Donald Trump played that video, he wasn't just confronting South African leaders about what's going on in their nation. He was undermining the narrative from the propaganda press that white South African farmers do not deserve refugee status. See, they have tried to spin this as though these refugees have been allowed to come in because they are white and because Donald Trump only likes white refugees. They have ignored the fact that these refugees meet the eligibility criteria because they face persecution on the basis of their race. And so Donald Trump showing them this hard evidence really undermine that narrative and force them to confront the facts that they have desperately tried to sweep under the rug.
Meantime, it turns out that the museum shooting happened because the border is too secure. Watch.
one of my main concerns in the current administration is the fact that so many resources are being diverted to immigration enforcement. And that is a priority of this administration, and that's their prerogative. But at the same time, if they are drawing down resources from counterterrorism.
Does she think that there were ICE agents that were going to be outside the Jewish Museum last night? What is going on?
It's kind of interesting. These are the same people that are perturbed at President Trump and Marco Rubio for saying, hey, we're pulling the student visas of people who are known supporters of terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah. And they are outraged and saying that they need due process. They must have their day in court. This guy was a radical. His religion was radical leftism. He wasn't an alt-right Christian that was anti-Israel. He wasn't a radical Muslim that was anti-Israel. He was a leftist, anti-Israel, pro-Hamas idiot for a decade. But in the United States, that's not enough to have ICE come knocking at your door or the FBI come knocking at your door, because we do have due process. Right. And it's just really interesting to see the media's double standard on this.
It's just the silliest argument I've ever heard. Alicia?